let's ride.
We kicked his ass.
I'm coming for blood. Let's fucking go.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a couple weeks since I've been on here. Last one I did was about AI and what the future of artificial intelligence will be. I've been kind of having a content block in my head, you know, because we spent like January through April talking about professional wrestling and talking about WrestleMania, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, all that. So I thought that I would do something a little different. I normally 9 times out of 10, I don't talk about politics. I usually try to leave that alone because there's a lot of negativity with it. There's a lot of negativity with politics, and it's on Facebook, it's on X, aka Twitter, it's on TikTok, it's on any social media platform. It's on the news that you watch. It's everywhere. All negativity. So I'm going to be nice and I'm going to break it down to you the best way possible. And just, and be honest here. I know some of you who are liberals or who are Democrats, some of you are Republicans. I am actually neither. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I just love this country. I love America. And that's just the thing that you need to understand. I know some of you are probably going to see this video and you're going to be like, he's defending this guy or he's defending that guy. I'm not defending anyone. What I'm defending is the democracy, the Constitution, the thing that in 1776, in July 4th, our founding fathers all signed 60 semi-signatures on a piece of paper called the Declaration of Independence. There's also amendments, bill. There's things that I look at the world now, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, how are people able to get away with the things that they get away with? It irritates me. Now, we could go all the way back to 2020. That was a really big year for America, all over the globe. We had a virus that we didn't know much about. You know, there's people that, you know, couldn't work during that time. But then, you know, we had this situation where there was a gentleman who supposedly got killed by the cops. Excuse me, sir. If you live in the South, allergies is crazy. But a man called George Floyd. And I know this is going to get some backlash, but I'm prepared for that. He was a convicted felon. Charges a mile wide long. But in Brooklyn, New York, in other words, they got paintings of him. They got statues of him. You know, the BLM group and the Antifa group were all worshiping this guy. Even the media was worshiping this guy like he was some kind of hero. But then I go on to TikTok. And sometimes what I do is I like to watch people's lives. on TikTok. I don't know if you have yet. I don't know if anyone has it. If you have watched lives, but I like to watch lives. I like to see what interest is what people are doing. It's like it's a, and there's some people on there who were like dogging the fact that Donald Trump has 34. He was charged all 34 counts in New York. Now, here's where the hypocrisy comes into play. If you are going to say that Donald Trump shouldn't be president because he's a convicted felon, and you don't think a convicted felon should be a president, and you don't think the convicted felon should run this country, then why do you celebrate a convicted felon in George Floyd? You see where I'm saying with that? That, I know some of you are going to be like, oh, well, that's a different story. That's a different story. No, it's not. Same thing. Same thing in that situation, because if you're going to denounce a presidential running candidate in Donald J. Trump, then you need to denounce anyone who's a convicted felon. Because it doesn't say in the law books that Donald Trump cannot, it doesn't say that a convicted felon can't run for office. It don't say it. There's no thing on there. And let's get something clear here. I'm a guy who believes that everyone deserves their time in court. Everyone deserves a fair trial. But let's be honest, no matter what you think of Donald Trump, some of you hate him, some of you like him, some of you think Orange Man bad, no matter what you think of him personally, and there's some things about him that I don't like myself either, but the man didn't get a fair trial in New York. And if you think he did, then you are part of the problem in America right now. The judge in that court, in that case, is a bona fide Democrat. And he's also donated to Biden's campaign in 2020. So you tell me how that's fair. His daughter has also made money off them convicting Trump. Actually, they were talking about it last year. Alvin Bragg and a few others were talking about, the district attorney. We're all talking about how they were going to take down Donald Trump. They were bragging about it. They proved in court that Michael Cohen was lying, but it still didn't matter. My thing is this, is if you're going to have a fair trial, then it needs to be a fair trial. You need to have someone in there as a judge who's impartial to both. You need to have a jury that's impartial for both. I know some people are going to be like, well, some of Trump's lawyers picked them, and they'd be correct. That happened. But where is, and I know people will say life's not fair, Kev, you should, no. I get that. But my problem is shouldn't someone, I don't care if you murdered somebody, shouldn't you have a fair trial in court? I mean, that's a democracy, right? You should have a fair trial no matter where you're going. And he wasn't going to have a fair trial in New York. Now, it doesn't matter if he did anything with Stormy Daniels or nothing like that. That's irrelevant. Trump does like women. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did do something with Stormy Daniels. But that's not the point. The point is, that's the hypocrisy in this whole situation. Because now they did kind of postpone the one in Georgia. Now that district attorney there, she is completely corrupt and evil. And she's got her own little personal thing that she's having to fight herself. So I don't think the Georgia thing is going to happen. And I don't think those other charges in Florida are going to happen either. But the fact that the judge told the jury that Trump doesn't have to be found 34 counts to be convicted. Hey, Daniel. Hey, happy Friday, buddy. it's irrelevant. That's just insanely. We go back to 2020. I'm going to rewind. Let's go back to 2020 and all these people doing these protesting, and then you see people's businesses, small town business owners, the backbone of America, right? The ones who can't run against big corporations like a Walmart and Target and Best Buy and Amazon. You can't go against these guys. So you're a small town, you're a small business owner, you're a mom and pop shop, which I love mom and pop shops. Not only were they struggling during the pandemic and this virus, but you had idiots burning buildings right in there, protesting, trying to get into CNN's building. CNN was showing. Huh, they kind of CNN does deserve a lot of shit. They should have burned that building, but the democracy with that is that the hypocrisy, sorry, is none of those people rush they rushed in a national a news station. They were burning buildings, looting, tearing up cars. And they did that here in where I live at too. But they got arrested. But guess what? They got released that same night. And did they go to court for it afterwards? Were they charged for anything? No. But we go back to January 6th and the quote unquote insurrection. And I saw a video, and some of those security guards were letting these people in. And some people were like, well, Trump started it. Well, if you go back and watch that town hall Trump had on CNN, he showed, and Twitter at the time was run by somebody else, wasn't run by the guy. It wasn't run by Elon Musk now. Twitter took down his tweet showing that he did ask people to be peaceful and not to do something stupid. But here's a big thing about that. Some people on January 6th got arrested, and then some of them got sent to prison. So why would they get sent to prison, but these other ones burned buildings, tortured stuff, stolen stuff? Where's the hypocrisy in that, right? That's a very big hypocrisy. Some people are like, well, January 6th different, January 6th different. Actually, no. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's a little bit of a history lesson to some of you who don't understand this. The House of Congress, the House of Representatives, is the people's house. That congressmen and women on there, Democrat, Republican, Independent, doesn't matter. They all work for you and I. They work for us. And if we feel like that our government is becoming a tyrant, or if they are not having our best interests at heart, which they don't, then you have a right to kick them out. And I feel like that's what those people on January 6th was trying to do. Now, some of them went a little too far. I'll admit that. They went too far. Some of them did. But what you don't know is that Trump asked Nancy Pelosi, who was the House Speaker at the time, do you want me to send the National Guard? And she said no. So whether or not there's any doubt in that, you can look that up. And what's funny is I look at some of these younger, and I'm talking about Gen Z. I'm talking about the Gen Z group here. You guys get your information online all the time. You don't read a book. You don't pick it out. You just kind of go, well, it's done by the Washington Post. They wouldn't lie, right? Do you not understand what publication is? Do you not understand what politics is? They're supposed to lie to you. Because every politician, whether you're a mayor, governor, congressman, president, whatever. Hey, what's up, Poston? I'm going to tell you, young Gen Zs, a big thought here. Every president that you see, they have what you call a campaign, right? And people donate money to that campaign. But do you know what else donates to that campaign? Well, let's say, for example, Walmart. Let's say, for example, I'm running for president and the Prodigal Hill's running for president. And Walmart decides to donate, I don't know, let's see, $2 million to my campaign. And I won the election. You don't think for a second that Walmart's not going to want a favor from me because they gave me $2 million in my campaign? It's the same thing with the pharmaceutical companies. It's almost like politicians should be like NASCAR. They should be with their suits. It's so that they're sponsored by Pfizer, sponsored by this, sponsored by that, sponsored by this. And that's where a lot of you don't understand that. The younger generation, I feel for you because I'm scared for you guys. The Gen Zs and the millennials, we're going to be the older millennials, not the younger millennials, but the older millennials and the Gen Zs, we're going to be just fine because we're fighters. That's what we do. We want something done, we go get it done. We don't sit there and expect it to be handed to us. We go out there and we get it. We fight it. That's why if there ever was a civil war or there ever was a World War III again, we'd be more prepared than you guys. Because we know what lies ahead. Some of you are so irresponsible, you believe everything that is being told to you. You don't go out there and do your own research. You just look at the Washington Post, so you look at what MSNBC is saying, CNN is saying, or whitehouse.gov. Like, there's a kid, I shit you not, who was on TikTok the other day. He had to be at least 20 years old, maybe 20, 21. I was watching his live feed. And he was over there saying that if it's from the whitehouse.gov, then it's real. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Did you get dropped on the head or something? It's the hypocrisy of people like that don't understand that they're being used. They're being used. Every last one of us is being used for something. Well, I'll tell you what, Prodigal, I believe that Trump's going to win this because everything that they're doing, everything that the Democrats are trying to do to stop Donald Trump, you're pretty much giving him every ounce for the win. Now, I do like Robert Kennedy Jr., but I just don't, as an independent, I just don't see him doing it. I would love for him to. I mean, I love some of what Robert Kennedy is saying. I actually believe some of the stuff that he's saying, I think we should do. But there is one thing that Trump said recently that I agree with. I believe that if you're bringing opioids or these powerful drugs into our country, that you should get the death penalty as a charge. And the people who are also human trafficking here should also get the death penalty. I believe that there should be more cruel and unusual punishment. I do. And that, hey, the third world countries, you got third world countries who will cut your freaking hand off. They'll cut your hand off for stealing. Because they know then not to do business with you. But, since the Democrats love to turn our country into a third world country, which is what they're doing and what they want, why not do what third world countries do? Someone shoots and kills, shoot and kill them. I mean, that might be harsh to some people, but that's the truth. With some cheese on it. They ain't got no meat between those buns. And that's the part of I have is that if New York flips, then all the rest of the Democrat states will flip. If Trump gets Tulsi Gabbard, and proxy by proxy gets Bernie's parents support. Trump will win over the Bernie bro base. Absolutely. See, that's the thing that a lot of people don't get. Now, this is what I don't understand. Okay, I know that Procol Hill's in the comments section, but anybody else sees this later, you can tell me this if you want to. I went around on TikTok the other day and I commented on some people's lives because I wanted to know why are you voting for Joe Biden? Are you going to be voting for Joe Biden again in 2024? And the answer that some of these people gave me was flabbergasted. They don't care if gas prices are high. They don't care that mortgage is up. They don't care that that actually mortgage is up. The cost of a house is up 40% compared to when Trump was in office. Gas is up 40% compared to when Trump was in office, when Biden's in office. And the interest rates are higher. Now, Biden goes on TV and says that everybody has money, they just don't want to spend it. I'm sorry. What money do we have that we're not spending? Because I would love to know what money we have that we're not spending. Because what's going to hurt Joe Biden is when he came in 2020, he had a 40-something year career, and some people knew some bad things he did, but they just kind of overlooked it. Now that we got a good 4 years of Trump and had a good 4 years of Biden, now we know the difference between the both of them in office. And while there were some of Trump's policies I didn't believe and I didn't agree with, you got these Biden supporters who just want to vote for Biden because they hate the orange man. Orange man bad. Doesn't matter if Donald Trump would do a tax cut. Doesn't matter if Donald Trump will run this country like a business. That doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't care about it either. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to take that 34 thing felony. It's because honestly, Trump's not going to jail. He ain't going to go to prison. The most case scenario, what? He gets probation. I mean, this is a first offense for him. So in the United States, if it's a first offense, even if it's a felony charge, you get a lighter sentence. That's how it's supposed to be. But we'll see. The problem is that what Democrats don't understand and what liberals don't understand is all of this stuff that you're doing. You know, trying to charge Trump for this, trying to do that, trying to do this, and doing everything underhanded you could do. All it's doing is you're opening up the eyes to the other Americans who are watching this, and they see what you're trying to do. I'm trying to help you guys. Because if you really want Joe Biden to win in November the 5th, then you have got to stop bullying Donald Trump, because people love an underdog. They love an underdog story. Underdog stories. Look at Rudy. And I'm not trying to put movies in this, but look at Rudy. Look at Rocky. Look at these movies that have underdog people. People love an underdog hero. And that's what America was, because America growing up, they were underdogs. In the Revolutionary War, they were underdogs against the British. So what I'm trying to say to some of you is that they're the underdog stories, they love it. Because no one expected in 2016 that Donald Trump was going to beat Hillary Clinton. And that's another hypocrisy thing. Hillary Clinton used her own personal email, her own personal computer to do government business on, which is a no-no, which is a felony. and she deleted those emails, but which is a felony. But she didn't get charged. Go back to when Bill Clinton was president. Bill Clinton was president. He paid a woman some hush money. Shouldn't that have been looked at as a, I don't know, felony like he did with Donald Trump? Yeah, no one who's introducing these shields, that's why it's going to be a landslide, then comes to the Democrats drop the ball, and they're not going to be. Oh, without a doubt, I believe that she would have been a really good candidate on the Democratic side. I really do, and I think the Democrats dropped the ball when it came to her. And it'd be interesting to see who Trump's going to choose as a vice president, because some people are saying Tim Scott, some are saying that, but I actually would choose Gabber if she's willing to run with Donald. I would do it. If I was him, if I was part of his campaign, I'd be like, dude, choose her. Because she would tear Kamala Harris apart in a vice presidential debate. No question in my mind. And if something happened to Trump, I can guarantee you she would run this country just as fine. Yeah. But we go back to hypocrisy. You see some of the Democrats have done some shady, underhanded things. But then again, some people are like, well, there's no proof. There's no proof. Of course there's no proof. Because the DOJ is in the pocket. As a matter of fact, right now, Dr. Fauci is on trial right now. Talking to Congress. There's a video of him. There's a voice of him. There's a clear audio, and you can look this up online. There's a clear audio of him telling someone in Biden's camp that the only way to get people to take a vaccine is if you take away their jobs, and threaten to do that. How is that not? How is that fair? Me too. I would too, Prodigal. I'd love to see her be the first female president just to piss Hillary off. You know, that's the thing too. It's like there's so much hypocrisy in America right now. It's insane. And some people are okay with this. Like, what saddened me when Memorial Day came, there was a video of these. I think her name was Caitlin. She does Liberty Hangout on YouTube. But she went around asking people, what does Memorial Day mean? And the younger generation, Gen Z, could not answer it at all. They kept thinking it was 4th of July. One guy said it's probably for my dead homies, which he's technically correct in a way, but it's sad to see that some of these people don't do their research and they don't take the time to see what's good and bad about the situation, because the Democrats have been evil for a long time. Long time. And believe me, the Republicans are no better. That's the biggest thing about this whole thing, is that they don't do their own research, and the media and these media people know that. So they're able to spit, they're able to twist their words, spit it around, and these people are like, oh my god, Donald Trump did this? He touched a girl in the puss? Oh my god. He was in there talking with guys about women. How many times have we, I used to be an athlete. I know Prodigal Hill You probably played sport. You played sports in the past, so have we not been in a locker room where we have talked about women? Absolutely. Now, I ain't condoning it by any means. I'm just saying that there are situations like that where there should be some. Trump's the only guy I have ever seen. And some people think, oh, yeah, we still do. Absolutely, we still do. There's, yeah, I mean, I guarantee you, all those 32 teams in the NFL right now who are doing their mini camps, all those baseball team players, I'm sure they're in the back talking about women. I guarantee you. It's not like it's not like this is not any news, but because Donald Trump said it, it's news. And you know what's interesting? Most of these celebrities, most of these news stations, a lot of people don't know this, but Trump used to be pretty chummy with the Clintons back then. Yeah. But because a man decides to run for president that does not have any prior political things, go back and watch this video. There's a video online of Joe Biden in the 80s and Donald Trump in the 80s. Donald Trump still talks the same way in the 80s as he does now. Biden, on the other hand, who signed that 1994, he was a part of that crime bill that really did a number on the African Americans. And then there was a guy I saw on TikTok say, oh, well, Trump's dad used to run around with the KKKs. I'm like, but you're not going to say anything about Joe Biden doing a eulogy for one of the KKK leaders, right? And let's talk about this. There was one day where they had Hunter Biden on the Capitol questioning him, and he walked away because Green and a couple other ladies were questioning him, and he walked away, but they did not hold him in contempt of this court. But if that would have been Eric Trump or that would have been Donald Trump Jr., you bet your bottom dollar they would have held him in contempt. This is all a political ploy. What did you say, Prodigal? You do have to appreciate the delusion of the right wing tubers making comic books of themselves. I've seen a few, actually. I actually saw a few. Some of them are actually putting themselves on Wolverine and Deadpool and thinking that they're going to save the USA, that they're the Jesus of the United States. I've seen some crazy stuff, man. And it makes me laugh. It's just... Look, you do have other options. If you don't want an 80-year-old senile man who basically has shit himself 3 times on national television and who can't get a word in edgewise and won't take any questions after he's done, at least Donald Trump took questions by the media. He didn't have to. But he took questions. At least you give him that. There is no way a man who is got an approval rating of 30-something% got 81 million votes. There's no way. And if some of you actually believe that, then you are delusional and you are part of the problem in this country. If you actually think that man got 80-something million votes. But he's been the president for these last couple of years. Can't take that away from him. But here's the thing. He can't even finish a sentence. He can't. He went to go meet the Pope in Rome and had to change his suit once or twice because he pooped himself. The other day, he was watching, there was the D-Day yesterday. He was in France for that. He was squatting over, and Jill Biden's over there holding on to him. And I can guarantee you that man pooped himself. But that's the question, America. You have the choice. You can either have an 80-year-old senile man who's made your life a living hell as far as your wallet goes, and it's not going to get any better, who poops himself and doesn't finish sentences, or you can go with an old ass man too, and Donald Trump, who you guys like to call a convicted felon, who's been impeached twice, you know who's stubborn and is going to stay in his own way like he always has, or you could go with Robert Kennedy Jr., who's taught the really good stuff lately, and who's kind of piqued my interest, and some of the stuff that he is saying, and some of the stuff that he wants to do. That man should be allowed to be in that debate this month between Trump and Biden. RK Jr. should have that opportunity to do so. Out of that three, I trust RK Jr. more than any of them. But usually independents don't win these presidencies, which is a shame. It's a crying ass shame that they don't. But what I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, is there's voice evidence of when Joe Biden was vice president that he and his son were talking. He and his son were talking, and they got that leader from Ukraine fired for his son. But if Donald Trump do it, yeah, no one's going to watch him. You're right. Especially with CNN hosting it, which they are going to be hosting it. And I guarantee you no one's going to tune in to watch that, because no one wants to give CNN that that rating. I sure as hell wouldn't want to give them that rating. Hey, Poston, I think me and you should go on The View. We should have a discussion with The View. I think that would be entertaining. I want to see how quickly we get kicked off the show. How quickly Whoopi would just, or Joy Behar would go right after us, or Sonny Holston would definitely go after us. I could see that. And we put the iron claw on her afterwards. No, but I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, if you watch this later, I'm not trying to sway anybody to vote anyway, because that's your God-given right. As an American citizen, that's your God-given right. If you want to vote for Biden again, that's your call. You want to vote for Trump, that's your call. You want to vote for RK Jr., that's your vote. Or you could you could go into the ballot and write in a name. You could vote for Scooby Doo if you want to, which me and Bell did one time. I ain't gonna lie, because I didn't like Obama, and I didn't like Mitt Romney, so I decided just to put a name in there. It's that particular thing where a lot of people. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. The media is trying to get us to fight. They want us divided. They don't want us united. Because if we as citizens were united, they'd fear us more. But they don't fear us right now, because we're divided, because some of you younger generation allowed them. And it's not just the younger generation. I've seen some deranged older people too. There's this woman on TikTok, man. Prodigal Hill, I swear to you, if someone went live into her chat, the moderators would kick you out as soon as you said hello. There's like they won't listen to reason. Like if you come in there and try to debate them, they'll cut you off. They won't let you talk. And it can't be an honest debate. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, is that this debate in June isn't going to be an honest debate. It's not going to be. I mean, I just like to see What I like to see is I would like to see the American citizens united. Instead of divided, we should be united because united we stand, united we fall. But divided, our country goes down the crapper even more. So what I'm saying is that if some of you could just get over the fact that someone likes Trump and then another person likes Biden, just say, hey, you know what? That's your prerogative. If you like Trump, cool. If you like Biden, cool. Don't get on to them about who they like. That's their God-given right. That's their God-given right. I mean, me and Mel got friends. We got family that vote Democrat or vote for Biden. I'm not going to hold it against them because, I mean, they pay their taxes. They have a right to vote whoever the fuck they want to vote for, and that's just how I look at it. But if some of them would learn to just kind of go with that mentality, you would see a more united front around here. But you won't see that united front because the more they keep us divided, the stronger our government is. Some of you don't believe that, but there's books out there. There's stuff to read. There's even some of these TV shows and movies. Like, I don't know if some of y'all ever watched this show back in the day called Scandal. Tells you just how corrupt DC really is. But you gotta be willing to do your own research. Like a guy like Particle Hill does his own research. I do my own. I don't listen to what the media says. I don't listen to what CNN said. I don't listen to what MSNBC says. Hell, I don't even listen to what Fox News says. I do my own thing. And that's the beauty of learning to be an American, is to understand that you do have rights. You do have capabilities. You have the Constitution behind you. You do have the amendments behind you. But you got to learn to use them. And you got to learn to use them the right way. And I know that it's Pride Month, which I'd be more inclined to be okay with that if it wasn't shoved down our throat. You have if you have a console, like you're a gamer, if you have a PlayStation or an Xbox, they have free skins on there for Pride Month. But there's 11 NFL teams who are not doing the Pride Month. My team, the Titans, aren't doing it, and Chronicle Hills, Dallas Cowboys, aren't doing it. There's 11 teams that are like, nope, not doing it. And it's not because people don't want to support the LGBTQ. It's the fact that it's being shoved down our throats. They get a month, when veterans, men and women who have served this country, get a D-Day, they get a Memorial Day, a Veterans Day, and that's it. Why can't they have a month? That's hypocrisy right there at its finest. Now, hopefully, there won't be too much hate on this video, but if it is, guess what? Then that means that I triggered something in this. And that's the thing a lot of people don't understand is that I'm not going to delete your comment. I'll respond back to you. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to delete your shit. Because I like to hear other people's opinions. That's another thing that would unite us. If you learn to understand other people's point of view. Like we have coworkers at work that I've listen to that are hardcore liberal. But what I do is instead of being rude to them, I'll go, hey, what's your belief? Tell me. Talk to me. And they do. And then they hear my belief and they don't get all pissy about it. They don't sit there and be like, oh, you're wrong. Baby. And I don't go over there and tell them that they're wrong. I just listen. Listening and communication go a long damn way. And not just in relationships and families and friendship and all that. It goes a long way in uniting us as a country. And if you learn that our government does not have your best interests in heart, because they work for someone else too. They have a higher calling that they have to answer to. They also have people that pocket them that they have to, like if a gas station, like if Exxon is supporting Donald Trump's going to have to, when he becomes president, he's going to have to pay them back somehow. It's all about doing favors. It's almost like a mafia thing. I know someone's going to be like, oh my God, don't be a conspiracist. Well, America was built on conspiracy. Look it up. Think about it this way. America did not want to pay taxes, so we tried to govern it ourselves and went to war with England to break away. Taxation without representation. Now, we got back tax, this tax, income tax, this tax, that tax, and all of this tax stuff goes to illegal immigrants who come to this country who can get a house and get a job and get all this stuff. Some of them get free health care. But that's okay, right? Because some of them are going to, I know someone's going to come and say, well, America was built on having immigrants. That's how we got here. The proof's in the pudding, ladies and gentlemen. Proof is in the pudding, whether you want to or not. You have to look at it from a different perspective. Don't come in all hot-headed. Don't come in here yelling, screaming, and throwing tantrums because you hate a certain person. Hate is such a strong word, too. And it's also a sin. Look it up in the Bible. It's a sin. Why have so much hate with each other? I don't get that. So you don't like Donald Trump. Okay, you can say you don't like him. You don't have to say you hate the guy. You know, I don't like Joe Biden, but I'm not going to sit there and say I hate the guy because he's a human being. He's a corrupt MFer. I'll throw that out there, but and again, it's politics. Who the hell isn't corrupt? That's the thing that most of y'all need to do your research on. And I know some of y'all probably went to school. You younger folks probably went to school and you probably weren't taught this because they decided to take that out of the books. Take that out of the history books, take that out of your textbooks, and they just so you go and do your research, you go onto your little laptop and your phones, and you think your phone is the answer. Google's the answer of all evil, right? Google knows it all. Didn't you know? Google's the new teacher. Google tells you everything. Notice how I was doing that very sarcastically too. But if you think Google is your answer for everything, then you are part of the problem. And that's why America can't grow. That's why people can't be united. That's why we can never agree to disagree. That's what you need to do. That's how we unite. Agree to disagree. Because anything anyone says on here is nothing but bullshit and bullshit and assholes. Seriously. That's what we have in Washington, D.C. is nothing but bullshit and assholes. We got the old rhino Republicans who basically probably hadn't took a shit since 1954. I'm talking about you, Mitch McConnell. And then we got the ones in Democrat who are basically like, oh my God, let's go in color. We got all different guys. I'm just throwing it out there. I do like Rand Paul and I do like Jim Jordan. But you got some Congress people who are for us because they know they work for us. We don't work for them. They work for us. And some of you will see a different side if you start learning to use that as part of your life. Anyways, I've talked long enough about it. Thank Prodigal Hill and Daniel for commenting, and I'm sure there's people who, if they want to comment later, hey, guess what? You know what? You're more than welcome to. And you know what's funny though is we're living in a country now where we used to be a powerful country, and no one fears us anymore. Keep that in mind. Another hypocrisy before I go. Giving money to Ukraine when we have a really big homeless invasion across the globe in the United States and not doing anything to help our disabled veterans, but we're letting illegals come over here and live rent free, and we're giving money out to Ukraine, but we're not giving out money to help not help our own country during the time where we're struggling the most is ludicrous, and it's hypocrisy at its best. And if you don't believe that, then you're part of the problem.